90.5 FM is WCYC Radio, Boys and Girls Clubs of Chicago, Power Hits 905, just about 3.5 minutes after 8 o'clock on a Thursday night. Now time for another exciting little version of Words and Music. Before that, though, let me remind you that was a remix of Change on Me by Cynthia. That comes off the CD on the Micmac Paddywhack label, which features all new versions of her greatest hits, Cynthia, the remixes. And if you looked at the cover of this CD, you'd sit there and go, wow, Cynthia has grown so much. Ooh, she'll be in town really, really soon. And yes, we'll have her as a part of our excitement on Thursday nights as we feature Words and Music. On this particular Thursday night, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back just a few weeks ago to an exciting little conversation that we had with John Minnis, originally of Nice and Wild. If you were at the Oak Theater not too long ago, you got the John Minnis experience, and maybe you didn't hear this interview. Maybe you did. I don't know, but what the heck? Let us journey back in time to something that used to be called the Sunday afternoon special, ladies and gentlemen, as we dug through the musical mind of John Minnis. It's John Minnis on the Celebrity Hotline. John-O!
What's going on?
What's happening? I didn't wake you, did I?
Yeah, nah. Well, a little. I was up already.
No, you weren't.
You know it wasn't.
You're just trying to be nice because you're on the radio.
I like Barry White now.
Yeah. Well, you sound better than you did a few minutes ago when you guys called for the first time. I'll tell you that right now. So how are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing fine.
John Minnis, do you remember the time when we first met? You probably don't. We actually met.
It was like in 87.
Oh, man. Bingo.
Yeah.
I think it was either summer 87 or summer 88.
It was summer 87.
There you go. And it was Nice and Wild and Cynthia at the Odeum in Villa Park. And Nice and Wild and Cynthia both came down in studio long time ago.
Oh.
And that's a beautiful memory for me because I remember you guys goofing on all the promos for the show. If I had outtakes from that day,
yep.
and we finally hit it off at the very end, and Joe Granda had to do that, yeah. So if you ever hear the promo from Nice and Wild, that's Joe Granda at the end of the promo whispering excitedly, going, yeah. So John, how are you? It has been too long.
I know, it's been a long time. Jeez.
I mean, you guys were here in 87, and that's basically when Diamond Girl first came out, am I right?
It came out in 86, yeah.
Oh, it came out in 86.
Yeah, but it was still like...
That makes you even older.
I know, right?
And when you guys came out with that, Nice and Wild, of course, that ended up on Atlantic Records, and it ended up being considered one of Freestyle's greatest hits.
Yep.
That has got to be one of the, well, yeah, not that it's going to make you feel old. I was going to say it's got to be one of the coolest feelings to think that in the field of dance music that you guys chose, you're considered pioneers, and the song that you ended up putting together is considered a classic.
Yep.
I mean, you could find that on collections.
That's great, though, because, I mean, to be so young to have a classic out of it is great.
Well, how old were you back then?
I was 22, 21. 21, I think.
So you were just getting into it, huh?
Yeah, I was just getting into it. Yeah, that was my first ever recording ever. That was my first time recording anything.
Wow. How did you guys originally hook up with the whole Nice and Wild theme back then?
Oh, man, it's a long story. Joe saw me in a contest and a talent show, actually. And that's how it started. And he asked me if I wanted to, sing and record and everything. And I said, yeah. Of course, I still didn't know what I wanted to do, but at the time I said, okay, fine, I would do it. And I did it, I recorded the song and everything. But at the time, I wasn't able to get in a group then, so I recorded it. And they had these other three guys.
Are you saying that you were not able to get in the group?
Not at the time. I sang a song, I recorded it and everything, but they had these other guys lip syncing to my voice and everything.
Oh, nice.
So I got into the group in '87 after all that went down and everything, and I started performing it then. So, at the time, Joe was still trying to. It wasn't like they were shoving me aside. Actually, were still trying to get me in the group and everything, you know, but I couldn't do it at the time, so.
So you were personally busy.
Exactly. So I was able to do it, and so when I finally got into the group, we started performing it and hung around. And
so it's possible that at some point in '87 there was a group calling themselves Nice and Wild, but in '86, my fault. But you were not part of the mix. I mean, that was your voice, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it was my voice, but not my physical being.
You guys were like the original Milli Vanilli back then.
Yeah, they were. It was like.
Did anybody ever catch on? I mean, that's a story I never even heard before.
They did. They caught on. I mean, even the record label caught on, and that's when they had to get me in the group then. So that's how that went. And the original guys that were in the group, they had a bit of a problem with it. Two of them did. One of them didn't. David Torres, he didn't have a problem with it, but this guy Remy and Reggie, they did. So, and Reggie really had a problem with it because he was the one lip syncing to my voice.
Ooh.
So he had a problem with it. So.
Oh, no kidding, because that meant he was out.
Exactly. So it was a big problem for them.
Holy moly. And of course, David Torres ended up signing with Micmac Records.
Yeah.
And coming out with a couple tunes on his own, and it was so strange. He was in town last summer, and he came in studio with Tim Schomer and a couple of others. We did the interview, and he says, "I remember you." And I'm like, "What do you mean you remember me?"
Yeah.
And that was him.
Yeah, it was David.
Back then, he's the one that did the Spanish lyrics.
Yeah, he and Remy sang the Spanish lyrics at the end. David did one part and Remy did the other part, yeah.
So did you guys all end up keeping in touch and all that as...
Remy and I actually started working together again at this club down here. We were working together at one point. It was a bit, it was nerve-wracking and it was like intense at first, you know.
Hey, give me your personal version of just what the whole Diamond Girl tune means to you and dance music in particular, because sitting here in Chicago, it is still requested, it is still played in the mixes. As soon as you came out with Diamond Girl 93, I jumped on it, and I mean, you've been there from the get. How do you feel, I guess, about, or maybe am I exaggerating a little bit in terms of the noise that Diamond Girl did?
No, it's still, I'd like that it's still requested. Down here in Miami, it's still requested. People, the DJs are still playing it, and I mean, I hear people coming up to me all the time talking about what that song means to them. And some people were were proposed to, you know, with that song and played at weddings and everything. It was like, you know, it was great.
There were radio DJs calling themselves Diamond Girls and Diamond Guys back then.
There's a body shop, a painting shop down here that's called Diamond Girl, Nice and Wild Painting Shop.
Oh, nice.
The store down here is called Diamond Girls. You know, it's a lot. I mean, people drive around with their license tag with Diamond Girl on it and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, Yvonne Nasser, years ago, used to sit here behind the mic and call herself Diamond Girl. She wouldn't even use her real name. She was the Diamond Girl. And then you guys added fuel to that fire, because I remember your visit here, 6-7 years ago. You had T-shirts made up with Nice and Wild logo and everything. It was very cool. I remember that distinctly. You guys gave T-shirts out, and I went to the show, and it was the show that I saw, the stage show, was such a trendsetter. I mean, the stuff that you guys did on stage was 4 guys dressed up like, as if it was a stage show.
Yeah.
And following the footsteps of Nice and Wild ended up being groups like George Lamont, TKA, Cynthia with her dancers. But if you go back to '86, you guys were doing this stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff was happening then. Yeah, the 3 guys that did the show before, you know, when they were lip syncing and stuff, they were very good though. They had a show going for you. In '86, they were very, very good. I mean, they were good performers. And then when I got in the group in '87, I had to try to keep up with that. You know, David had already, you know, he was already in it in '86, so he knew what to do, and so he helped me out a lot with that, because I was really into my singing. I mean, I was able to dance and everything, but I wasn't as a performer as the other.
No, listen, John, we have got to listen to the original version of Diamond Girl. We've got to listen to it. And as a matter of fact, I stole this version off of the Turnstile collection, Freestyle's Greatest Hits. There it is. Nice and Wild, Diamond Girl. And I stole that as opposed to the other version, because it's been redone so many times. I like to give people different variations of the tune.
Yeah.
And on top of that, when we come back, we'll talk about Diamond Girl 93, and then there was 4 whole nother versions of Diamond Girl. There's so much to talk about. How much time do you got?
I have a lot of time. I don't...
All right, well, I won't keep you that long, so I don't want to kill your long distance, Bill.
Okay.
But I do want to get into playing some Diamond Girl for you, because I want to give everybody a taste of just what things were like in 1986. I guess this started locally in Florida, I would imagine, right?
It started. We didn't expect the song to take off at all, really. It was supposed to be, it started off as a show tune, just for doing shows.
And the reaction was such that you guys had to release it.
Yeah, they had to release it because it was incredible. So the response was incredible. They had to release it.
Wow, well, the response here has always been incredible to Nice and Wild and Diamond Girl. We're speaking with John Minnis now, who is lead singer of Nice and Wild, who now is just John Minnis. So nobody uses the term Nice and Wild anymore?
No, not really, no.
Well, that's cool, because you can just be John now.
Yeah, I'm doing my own thing now, so it's great.
All right, we'll talk about that in a second. We'll be right back. This is Nice and Wild, vintage 1986 Diamond Girl. By John Minnis, ladies and gentlemen. Latino version of the vocals from David Torres, the same David that brought you I'm Not Gonna Cry Over You. Were you surprised when he came out with his own solo stuff, John?
No, I knew about it. David, he let us know. He let me know, actually. I knew about it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was happy for him, too. I was like, good.
There was some real talent in that group.
Yeah, yes. And he's real talented. He's real good with the crowd and everything.
Hey, we were talking off the air, and John says, hey, Harv, you remember back summer 86, 87? The very first time I ever heard house music. What the heck were you guys doing in Florida?
That didn't get to us until later. It was like, we were the last ones to get it, actually. And I heard it in Chicago, and then I heard it in New York. I was like, damn. So, it was different for me. But it blew up to us. Like,
so what were you guys doing? You were just like driving around in the limo, and they turned on, I guess back then, maybe WBMX, and you said, what the heck is that?
we were at the club, actually, when we heard it. We were at the club, and the DJ was playing the house music, and we heard it up there.
And so what did you think of the Chicago style of dance music?
No, I loved it, actually, because it had those real, like, old vocals, like, it had that, it reminded me of the old music. It was, like, not as computerized, not as synthesized and everything. The first ones I heard, it was that underground house I heard the first time, that's why.
Well, it's interesting now, we were talking off the air, that just about any tune that you find now, even the ones that cross over, even the Michael Jackson stuff, has to have a house version.
Everything is, yeah.
And aren't you glad techno died? Jeez.
But you know what? Don't ask me that question, because
Why not?
I was extremely happy, actually.
Hey, there was a time early this year where everyone was dropping freestyle.
Yeah.
And it was driving me nuts because back then, now I started here in 85, 86, so basically you guys were one of my very first in-studio interviews, and I've been playing freestyle forever, and all of a sudden this other kind of music comes along, people start forgetting freestyle to the point where, what is it, Hot 97 in New York decided, it's not worth even being put on the air anymore.
Yeah.
Now, if you've been in New York recently, you tell me about Hot 97's ratings. Those ratings are so low.
I have not been to, I haven't been there. God.
But on the other hand, Power 96 in your town.
The Pirates, they never dropped it.
Yeah, they've been jumping on it forever, and they've been on it forever.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. The thing I like about this music, it's primarily young minority artists making music for young minority fans.
Yeah.
Be it black, be it Hispanic, be it Mexican, as opposed to, what everybody, achy, breaky heart.
Yeah.
I'm just a little Latino from Chicago. I'm not going to get into that. And when your music came along, there were so many of us that could identify with it. It's a lot of fun.
That's the thing. A lot of people can identify with it. And it's like taking music from a group of people, and it's not. I think it's great, though. I think it's good. It should keep going and keep going and keep going.
And all of those tunes, in some way, shape, or form, revolve around the love theme.
Of course.
So when you guys did Diamond Girl, did you have, like, one particular girl in mind when you guys wrote that?
No, Joe wrote that song. And he wrote it when he was in bed.
In bed?
Yeah.
Was he alone?
Alone. And I was like, okay.
There's Joe hanging out in bed with his favorite lady, and he gets inspired. He says, wait a minute. Give me a notebook.
Yeah, can you imagine? Stop, hold it. The phone ringing.
And he wrote Diamond Girl.
But we know something. Because when I first sang it, I was like, wait, what is this I'm singing? And then it was like, it just fit right on my finger. I was like, okay. It was getting to me real good. I was like, okay.
It's funny because if you take one good look at Joe Granda, you wouldn't think that those would be the kind of lyrics that he would write.
I know.
I remember him as a smaller, chunky white guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Writing about a Diamond Girl.
Yep, that's him.
So just how far did these Diamond Girl wannabes get when you guys were on stage? What would be the most outrageous stage story you could tell me to wind up this nice and wild conversation?
We were in Key West in Florida, and we had a show there. We were doing Diamond Girl, and they had things around the stage, like a rope tied around, so the kids couldn't get to it.
Right.
So there was this blonde girl and this black girl. They got through those ropes. I don't know how they did it. They got past the security guards, and they grabbed me by my feet because the stage was higher. They grabbed me by my feet, and they yanked my feet from under me to pull me off the stage. I knew I was gone. I thought I was dead. Put my feet from under me. I fell to the floor. Bam.
Ooh. So you're talking about a stage that's probably 4 feet high.
Yes, and the mic feed back and everything, and everybody heard, ooh, like everybody thought I was gone. The girls didn't care. They were still pulling. And I had to let everybody know I was okay. I started singing again.
Oh, man.
He thought that I was singing off key and everything, and like saying help.
I don't understand that. Girls do that around here, too, and all they want to do is run up to you guys, rip your clothes off, and then what? I was always curious as to what are girls going to do once they get their hands on the performer that they've been screaming and yelling about for the last who knows how long.
Well, it's like
So they grabbed your feet, and that was it. End of story.
the security guys had to pull them off, yeah. And then some girls followed us to a hotel room and everything. They, when they really enjoy an artist and they like an artist a lot, they want to get to know him or talk to him or anything. You know what I'm saying?
And now the big topic, summer 93 comes along, and John was sitting around the house, and he said, what the heck can I do for a song?
Yeah, and Joe and Artie was talking again, and they were like, man, we should do Diamond Girl over. I was like, you're joking. They said, yeah, we should.
Well, you performed it like thousands of times, so you probably were sick of it by then, no?
Oh, sick of it wasn't the word, but, it's like, I was sick of performing it, but I love to hear it, I heard it on the radio, it felt good and everything. So that's okay. And what I did basically was I sang it a little different as you know, I did it like how I do it in the shows, you know? Because when I do it in the shows, I like to sing it live, and I like to change it up a little and play with it a little, you know? And so that's basically what I did is with that.
So your initial reaction, I guess you weren't really excited about redoing it.
Yeah, well, at first I thought they were joking. But when they were serious about it, I was like, let's do it. You know, I was ready for it, you know.
And I guess it's done well, because I've seen it on playlists. I've been playing it, and the neat thing about this particular 12-inch is that there's 4 different versions, including an alternative rave-sounding version. So you did a little bit for everyone, including a house version, including a bass version, including the hip-hop mix, which happens to be my favorite. Geez, time always seems to go so fast right here on Words and Music on a Thursday night. Power Hits 905. We've been listening to a celebrity conversation with John Minnis, formerly of Nice and Wild, now all by himself. We heard music from John Minnis. Of course, we heard Diamond Girl, but we also heard Need a Little Love. That is from the North Beat Dance Alliance. And what's in the back of your head right now before we get out of here, this is the hip-hop version of Diamond Girl 93. Remember, Thursdays, 8 to 8:30, words and music of your favorite dance music artist. I'm out, so at least you can hear a little bit of John Minnis. And then the other guy.
You're my diamond girl. Ooh, oh, diamond girl. You're my diamond girl. Diamond girl, I like to know if I am getting near your door, which will only make me want you more. Ooh, I feel them coming through your door. Ooh, oh, diamond girl. You're my diamond girl. Ooh, oh, diamond girl. You're my diamond girl. Come on. Come on. Oh, yeah. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Said I was flying all that faster than doping in. Damn, black shit's kinda crazy, lazy, hazy, trendy. I'm in a frenzy. With me on lawful entry. Poor kids ain't on it. G girls want